Well, it's not the first. First song we did together was a song called "Defying Gravity," which is a piece of music that the guys sent down to me. We were calling it Vindaloo Rock because it had this sort of Eastern, Mid-Eastern, Indian kind of sound to it, like really kind of cool little percussion to it. Anyway, I don't know who called it Vindaloo Rock, but I went with that.
The seed of the song, at least on the guitar part, came in the morning. I was staying in North Hollywood for a writing session with Billy and Pat, and I think I had had a really delicious Indian meal the night before, and I got up and I somehow had this, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it was like the 5/4 odd time, you know, 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 kind of groove in my head, and and then I thought, well, we're actually a rock and roll band, not an Indian percussion group. So you know, I wasn't quite sure how we'd work that into a tune, but I had the idea to combine that with sort of a rock and roll thing. We sent it up to Eric. He took it a step further and really built it into a song.
And came up with this idea about the folks at home that just kind of feel like it's normal to have a 9-to-5 job, come home, have a nice little picket fence and your house and your wife and your kids, and go out bowling every Thursday night, and that's the way life is, and that's what you do, and you procreate, and you make love every Sunday or whatever you gotta do, and that's the way your life is for the rest of your fucking life. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to, the person in this story was to boldly go where no man's gone before and actually do it. Just get out of your whole environment and explore. And you know, I kind of put myself into this song. I'm an explorer, you know, by nature. And anyway, that's what this song is about.
And I love what Eric did with it, and it was a nice confidence builder on this record. It was the first track that we recorded. I think I landed at about 3 in the afternoon, got here to the studio at 4 p.m., and by 6 o'clock we had a track down. And we were on our way, so it was great to get everybody together, Kevin Elson in the studio, and all of a sudden, new Mr. Big music is alive.
It was interesting when the Beatles got involved with Indian music, and back in the '60s. And I remember I got a big collection in my iTunes of what's called sitar exploitation. Everybody using sitar. Suddenly, all the pop songs had sitar in them because the Beatles did it. So everyone else did it, but it doesn't have sitar in it. But it's definitely a kind of an Indian influence, and I've always been a big fan of a lot of Indian music. Actually, in the end result, when you hear it, you may not think Indian music, but the formulation of it a lot had a couple of little scales and moves in it melodically that gave me the impression of an Indian kind of motif.
My first impressions were, it's great to be recording again because it's always a new adventure. It's not like playing live, it's a whole different animal. And Defying Gravity is a song that came out of an idea of kind of a jam that Paul and Billy and I got together and come out with this hybrid kind of a rock and roll song that's got all these influences. It'll be good live, so that's the first song we recorded.